Do you know what to do if your spouse or partner passes before you? Most people, they have no clue, and many others think they know what to do, but they haven't really thought it through. But then, on the hardest day of their life, the day it feels like their heart and soul are being ripped in half, that's when they realize they have no idea what to do or where to start. Because when your spouse passes away, there isn't a guidebook, no checklist for how to breathe again, no roadmap for what to do in those first aching mornings. Alone, people will tell you to stay strong, to eat something, to make sure the bills are paid. But underneath all of that is a grief that swallows logic. The truth is, even the healthiest marriages and the longest love stories can't shield us from what comes next. Losing a spouse doesn't just take away a person. It shakes your routines, rattles your emotions, and leaves you standing in a quiet house, wondering what happens now, feeling like you're living an out-of-body experience in your own body. This video isn't about funeral etiquette. It isn't about bank accounts. It's about what to do first for yourself, mentally, emotionally, and in small, doable ways. What to do practically. Together, we'll walk through 6 painful, yet necessary steps that can help you steady yourself in one of life's most disorienting chapters. These aren't textbook-style instructions. They're built from compassion, lived experience, and the kind of wisdom only pain can teach. Every point we share is something real people, just like you, have used to find their footing again. And while none of these steps will erase the loss, they can give you a sense of calm when the rest of life feels upside down. If your spouse dies first, and I truly hope that day is still far away, you deserve to know how to survive it. If yours has recently passed and you are grieving, trying to find a beacon of hope and a little guidance, we sincerely send our condolences and our love and offer you the best bits of help and wisdom possible. Stay with me until the end, because the 6th point, it's the one most people overlook, and it may be the most important step in how the rest of your life unfolds. After goodbye, let's begin. Step 1, reach out before silence settles in. When a spouse dies, people show up. They call, they send flowers, they bring casseroles. They tell you, if you need anything, just call. And for a few days, and maybe even a week, the noise helps. But then, the phone slows down, the door stops knocking, the world moves on. And you're left with the kind of silence that doesn't just fill a room, it fills your chest. That's why the first thing you must do before the quiet becomes a habit is this. Reach out, even when it feels unnatural. You don't have to pour out your heart. You don't need to explain your grief or host anyone or act okay. Just don't wait for other people to make the first move. Because here's the truth. Even the people who love you most might hesitate, not because they don't care, but because they don't know what to say. They don't want to say the wrong thing, so they say nothing. And that nothing can turn into real isolation faster than you think. Let me tell you about Walter, age 78. He and his wife used to joke that their phone should come with a mute button because it rang constantly. But after her funeral, it didn't ring much at all. He kept waiting for someone to check in, but no one did. So eventually Walter made himself a promise. 1 call a day, just 1. He didn't always talk about grief. Sometimes he just asked about the weather or told an old joke he and his wife used to laugh at. That tiny act, it became a lifeline. Human connection doesn't always look like deep conversation. Sometimes it's just someone being on the other side of the line. And if you don't have close family nearby, look into grief groups, senior centers, library events, volunteer circles. There are people out there who are willing to just sit with you and let you be. Reaching out doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're choosing not to carry the pain alone. And that is not weakness. That is wisdom. Step 2, don't hold it in. Let the grief speak. When the flowers wilt, when the casseroles stop coming, when the house feels too big for just one person, that's when it hits you. The routines you used to share, the sound of their footsteps in the other room, The tiny conversations no one else ever heard. Gone. And in their place, a silence that settles deep into your chest. Now, a lot of people will tell you to stay strong, to hold it together, to keep busy. But here's the truth. Grief that gets buried doesn't go away. It just waits. And when it comes back later, it's heavier, sharper, and far more confusing. So if you're wondering what to do after loss, here it is. Let yourself break down. Let yourself cry. Let yourself collapse on the bed. Let yourself admit out loud that nothing makes sense anymore. That is not weakness. That's honesty. Let me tell you about Gloria, age 83. She told everyone she was doing just fine. She stayed busy, scrubbing baseboards at 2 a.m., rearranging the pantry, deep cleaning her garage. But one night, her neighbor found her asleep in her car, keys still in the ignition. She hadn't even started the engine. She wasn't trying to go anywhere. She just needed to feel something different. That moment, that crack in her strength, it saved her. She finally let herself cry. And after that, healing didn't come fast. But at least it had somewhere to start. You are not broken because you feel shattered. You are not weak because you can't function the way you used to. You're grieving. And grief is not something to fix. It's something to carry. So carry it honestly. Talk about them. Remember them. Break down if you have to. Because if love was deep, grief will be too. And letting it speak is the first step to making peace with the silence. Step 3, find the papers before the fog sets in. In the middle of your grief, the world keeps moving. Bills still arrive. Accounts get frozen. Decisions need to be made fast. And if you're not prepared, that emotional fog you're feeling, it can quickly turn into real confusion and real consequences. This isn't about being cold or handling business. This is about protecting yourself and the life you built together. After loss, you'll need to find things like their will, bank information, insurance policies, marriage and death certificates, military pension, or retirement paperwork. It's overwhelming, it's exhausting, and it never feels like the right time. But here's the hard truth. The paperwork won't wait. Let me tell you about Tariq, age 80. His wife, Miriam, had handled everything: bills, insurance, passwords. He always thought he'd figure it out when the time came. But by the time he found the life insurance paperwork, buried in an old photo album, he'd already drained his savings to pay for the funeral. It wasn't neglect, it was grief, paired with delay. If it feels like too much to tackle alone, ask someone you trust to sit with you. A family member, a friend, even a professional advisor. Use a simple checklist. Get a folder or a box. Make copies of anything important. Write down passwords, account numbers, and contact names. This isn't just about you. It's about making sure someone else could step in, if you needed them to. Grief isn't just emotional, it's administrative. And the more organized you are now, the less chaos you'll face later. So don't wait for the fog to clear before you start. Taking this step might feel like a burden, but it's also a gift to yourself and to the legacy you shared. Step 4, your body is grieving too. When someone you love dies, your heart breaks, but so does your routine. Suddenly, you're not sleeping right. You're skipping meals. You forget what day it is. You stop caring if you got dressed or if you even brushed your teeth. And while that might feel understandable in grief, it's also dangerous. Grief doesn't just live in the heart, it shows up in the body. It messes with your memory, your immune system, your appetite, your blood pressure, even the way you breathe. And here's the scary part. You might not even notice it's happening until your body starts to break down. Let me tell you about Lois, age 85. She'd never missed a doctor's appointment in her life, but after her husband died, she forgot 3 in 1 month. She stopped eating. She skipped her blood pressure meds. And one afternoon in the grocery store, she fainted. It wasn't a stroke. It wasn't a heart attack. It was grief, unmonitored, unspoken, and untreated. Her grandson helped her make a tiny wins chart. Something small every day. Eat a meal, drink some water, go outside for 5 minutes. and slowly her strength started to return. Sometimes the most important thing you can do is focus on the basics. Feed your body, even if you're not hungry. Drink water, even if you forget you're thirsty. Rest, even if sleep doesn't come easily. Move, even if it's just a slow walk to the mailbox. You don't need a perfect routine. You don't need to train for a marathon. You don't need to have it all figured out. But you do need to keep showing up for yourself in the smallest ways, especially when everything feels heavy. Taking care of yourself doesn't mean you're moving on. It means you're still here, still alive, still worthy of care. And in some small way, that is a kind of healing. Step 5, don't rush to change what still grounds you. Grief makes everything feel unstable. The house feels too quiet. Their clothes still smell like them. Every corner of your life reminds you of what you've lost. So it's only natural to want to do something. Clear out the closet, sell the house, move closer to your kids. Book a one-way ticket somewhere new, because when your world feels upside down, changing your surroundings feels like taking control. But here's the warning. Big decisions made during grief are often the ones people regret the most. Let me tell you about Don, age 76. He lost his wife suddenly. Within 2 weeks, he sold their house and moved in with his daughter across the state. Everyone told him it was the smart move. He'd be closer to family, have help nearby. But once he got there, the house didn't feel like his. He missed his neighbors. He missed his garden. He missed the sound of the old floorboards creaking at night. Now he had to grieve 2 losses, his wife and the home they built together. You don't have to live in the past, but you also don't need to run from it. That shirt in the closet, you don't have to throw it out tomorrow. That couch you both picked together, you don't have to replace it next week. Give yourself time. Let your emotions catch up to the reality of what's changed. And this goes double for financial decisions. Selling a car, moving assets, signing over property, investing in anything new. If possible, bring someone with a level head into the conversation. A trusted friend, family member, or financial advisor. You need someone who isn't caught in the emotional current because you're in the middle of it. Taking your time isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Let the fog lift before you try to redraw the map. What feels urgent today might look completely different next month. So don't multiply the pain of loss by rushing into a second one. Wait, breathe, think, then move when you're ready. Step 6, rebuild the you that's still here. When your spouse dies, it's not just their absence you feel, it's the absence of you, the version of yourself that existed beside them. For years, maybe even decades, you were part of a rhythm, a team, a we, John and Mary, mom and dad, him and her, us. And now, there is no us, just you. And the question that slowly creeps in after the dust settles, who am I now without them? Most people aren't prepared for this part of grief because it doesn't come with a funeral, or paperwork, or casseroles. It comes quietly, weeks or months later, when the house is still and you realize you haven't said a full sentence out loud in 2 days. Let me tell you about Marisol, age 81. She was married to Carlos for 55 years. They did everything together. Even their email address was shared. In the first few months, she kept everything exactly the same. His slippers by the bed, his coffee mug by the sink, his show paused on the TV remote. But one afternoon, she took out an old set of paints. She hadn't touched them since her 20s. She didn't paint to distract herself. She painted because, for a brief moment, it felt like her. And that moment reminded her there was still someone in there, someone still ready to laugh, love, and learn. Rebuilding your identity doesn't mean forgetting them. It doesn't mean moving on. It means moving forward with their memory, not without it. Start small, a class at the community center, a trip you always dreamed of, a new book, a new hobby, a new routine, even just learning how to enjoy your own company again. These aren't replacements for love. They're responses to life. You are not only who you were with them, you are also who you're becoming now. And that version of you, they deserve attention. They deserve care. They deserve grace. It may take time, it may take tears, but every small step is part of finding yourself again and writing the next chapter of your story with intention. Losing your spouse is one of life's deepest cuts. It doesn't just take away the person you loved, it takes away the rhythm of your days, the warmth of being seen without explanation, the comfort of having someone who just knew. And nothing, not time, not advice, not even these 6 steps, can make that pain disappear. But these steps, they aren't rules, they're anchors. Little points of steadiness in a world that suddenly feels like it's spinning out of control. Let's recap. Reach out before the silence settles. Let the grief speak, don't bottle it up. Find the papers before the fog sets in. Care for the one person still here, you. Delay the big decisions until your feet are steady. And slowly, gently, start rebuilding the you that's still here. You don't have to be perfect at this. You don't have to do it quickly. You just have to keep going. Because even in the middle of heartbreak, there is life, there is healing, and yes, there is hope. If your spouse has passed recently, please know this: you are not alone. Others have walked this path. Others are walking it now, and every one of them is learning, just like you, how to carry a heart that's been broken open without letting it close off. Grief doesn't mean your story is over. It means a new chapter has begun, one you never asked for, one you never wanted, but one that is still yours to write. If this video helped to give you direction, even in the smallest of ways, we only ask for you to take 30 seconds to do the following. Tap the like button, subscribe to Elders Almanac, and share this video with others who may need it. But above all else, please stay strong.